Hello everybody, this is Coach Sonny, and in this video I'm going to really quickly go over the code that I created to make this image of a cat's face. It's about 103 lines of code. I'm not going to build it from scratch, and I'm just going to go over all the elements of this code and tell you how I made it. I have a bunch, like everything is defined out except the cat head at the end. So I'm gonna go over each define and how I built that and why I did it the way I did it. There's several ways to make this image. If you wanna like make it from scratch, you probably won't have my code by the end, but this is just one way and showing you how all these functions work and how I can combine all these shapes into making my cat's face. The first define I have is for my eye, and it's an overlay of two circles. And overlaying something just puts it on top of something else. So I have a black circle on top of a white circle, so that gives the effect of having like an eyeball. After that, I have my eyes defined, and it's just two eyes with a gap in the middle. Now you might notice that I have a number here, and if I change this from 0 to solid, you'll see that you can now see the circle, but I don't want it to be shown. So the other option besides solid and outline is to type a number from 0 to 255 to change the opacity of the circle. If I put 0, it just goes all the way down to like transparent and visible. But let me show you what happens if I do like 50. So you still can't like little bit see it there, but if I go down to 0, then it's totally gone. So that's the reason why this circle is in between these two eye definitions. After that, I have a nose, and I chose a triangle, a pink triangle, to be my nose, and I rotated it by 180. That means that usually triangles have the tip pointing to the top. I changed it so it rotated 180, so like a semicircle, and now it's just pointing down. I could get rid of this rotate, and it would just be a triangle pointing up. And I just made it point down just because I thought it looked better. Okay, so now down to the mouth part. The mouth part is made from top lip and from mouth opened. Okay, so let me explain let me actually do mouth opened first. So let's pretend that top lip does not exist. It would be two ellipses, one dark pink and one dark gray. I'm going to change this to 0 so it goes away, it becomes invisible. So you can see what it looks like without it. So I didn't want my cat's mouth to be like surprised or shocked. I wanted it to be smiling. So I did like a little trick there. I made two rectangles to kind of like block the top half of the ellipse. Let me change these to like red and blue so you can see them properly. And then I'll change these back to solid. Like that. So the blue rectangle is just covering everything, like all the top of that ellipse. And then the red rectangle is just giving it a little contour so you have like the full dark color going around on the top of the mouth. So if I change this back to, so the red was, let me make them both gray so you can see what I mean. So if I make them both gray, like there's like the top lip is missing from the cat's mouth. So that's why I made the bottom rectangle be dark gray so that it had the full outline in the mouth. Oops, I did something wrong. Dark. Whenever I do dark gray, it has to be gray with an A, and then it works. Right. And then overlay align is just another version of overlay that lets you control the alignment of the images. The first parameter is going to do the alignment horizontally, so I could make this be like left. But since they're both the same size, it's not going to change that much. So if I make these be like 40 and 40, then you'll see that they're aligned to the left, but the bottom. So this one can be left, middle, and right. And then this controls the vertical alignment. So it could be top, bottom, or middle. So I'll change these back to what they were. This was the center. Like that. So that's my mouth open and my top lip. And then mouth is just the top lip overlined on the mouth open. So here I can make this be like bottom, and it would cover the bottom half of the ellipse, but I don't want that. So that's why I made it be top. Okay, next are the ears. So I have a left ear and a right ear. I have, for my left ear, it's a small triangle, rotated above or overlaid on top of a gray triangle. So this guy right here. So I made it rotate by 45, so that's why it's like pointing to the left like that. And then the right ear is the exact same thing, but I rotated it by 315, so it points the other way. I could have had just one ear and then rotated the entire overlay by a certain amount, but I just made it like this for simplicity. And then down here, ears are just up beside of the left ear with a gap in the middle, and then the right ear. So let me change this 0 to solid so you can see the gap there. So that's the gap that's making the ears be spread out, but I want this to be invisible, so I make it 0. There you go. After that, I have a definition for my eyes, nose, and mouth. So my eyes are above some invisible circle. I'll make it solid so you can see it. And then I have a nose, and then I have another invisible circle, and then I have mouth. So it's just a little spacing between the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. These, since they're very small, I could just get rid of them completely, and it would still be like look okay, but I just left them there just to like explain like how you can also add spacing in between images. Okay, and then down here I have my face features, which is an overlay of my eyes, nose, and mouth above my like the bigger circle, the head of the cat. So if I turn this red, you'll see that it's the whole head. So that's when I put my face features on top of my head, and that makes my cat. After that, I start building the whiskers for the cat. So I have a left whisker, which is just a line that has an X and Y value, and then a color. So the color affects only the red whiskers. You could have each whisker be a different color, and you would have to define each one, or make a function that takes in a color, and then you can add parameters to that. And then line, it just gives it like the distance it'll point and like the slope. You'll have to look that one up. But you can just, let's play with these numbers. So 10, 10, which is 10, negative 10 would be a line going to the top right corner. If I make both of these positive, it would be a line going to the top left, like that. But I want them to be pointing in the other direction. And then if I change this to 50, it'll just change how long they are and in the X direction, and then these would change it how long they are in the Y direction. So the first number is X, the second number is Y. Then I have another definition for my left whiskers, which is just three whiskers separated by a space in the middle. So let me change this to 255, which is the same as typing solid. So now you can see that there's very little space there. I could do without, but again, I just wanted to show you how to add spacing. So let's go back to invisible. And then same exact thing with the right whiskers. The only difference is that my line is negative in both X and Y, so I could get that effect. I could also make them positive, and it has the exact same thing. After that, I have my whiskers defined, which is a combination of my left whiskers with a rectangle in the middle. I'll make it not invisible like that. So that's just to separate him. And it kind of looks like a mustache, right? But I want him to be invisible like that. Following, almost done, I have my face on background. So I added my face features into a rectangle in the bottom. And this is serving two purposes. The first one is just to have like a cool background instead of just white. And the other purpose is that if this rectangle didn't exist or was smaller, then you would lose, well, that's not going to work, but you would lose the tips of the ears and the whiskers if they go outside of that circle. So I'm just basically adding more space around the head circle so that everything is captured. If I didn't add this, you would run into the problem where the ears get cut off because they don't fit inside of the circle space. So I'm adding just a bit more of space around the head so that all the features fit. Next, I add the ears to the face using place image. So these ears, we already know that is just left, right ear with a gap in the middle. And then these numbers right here just mean where in the second image do you want to place them? Second image being the face on BG. If I change these values, this is the first one's for X. You can see that I'll move it more to the right. I can even go further right, and then one of the ears will totally be out of the view. And I have to make these be centered. So 125 is half of 250, which is the background. And then 65 controls the Y position. If you want to go higher up, this number would be smaller. If you want to go lower, then you would make it bigger, like 150 or something. And now it looks like the cat has like rosy cheeks. But I want those to be ears, so I'll go back to 65, like that. And then finally, I define my cat head, which places the whiskers on top of the face with ears. Same deal here. If I make this a smaller number, it'll shift it to the left. And now you can only see the right whiskers. If I go too far to the right, then you'll only be able to see part of the whiskers, and then, I mean, it doesn't look nice. So you put them in the middle. And 145, again, controls the Y position, like top or bottom. If I make this number smaller, like 50, it'll go up. And now it looks like, I don't know, the cat's hearing something, maybe. If I go, if I put a too high of a number, I forgot what number it was. I think 150 was the answer. So let's do like 200. And now they're too low. And now it looks like the shoulders of a cat. I don't know. It looks weird. But yeah, so 150 was the real one. Yeah. So this is how I made my cat. If you're watching this video, make sure you follow along so you can type all this code. I'll scroll slowly so you can pause in your video. So this is from 1 to line 28. And this is from line 29 to line 56. And then the last part, line 56 to 81, 83 to 103. So make sure that you copy all this code. And in the assignment, I'll challenge you to change some features of this image. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.